For my leisure activity project, I decided to go camping on the Yuba River. Thomas Hiram Holding wrote the first camper's handbook in 1908. He wrote another book while embarking on a trip with four friends in the late 1800s called Cycle and Camp in Connemara. In this book, he went over a camping trip that he took in the UK after setting off with some camping equipment. There were no documented women on this trip. Female participation in camping activities was very scarce over the last 100 years. Women were thought of as not rugged enough to withstand the elements of the outdoors. Nowadays, more and more women are embracing their nature side and going camping more often. There are over 1.2 million people that are members for the Camping and Carnavaning Club, with at least 1 out of 4 members being female. Camping as a man's hobby. Up until the 1950s and a little bit beyond that time period, women were thought to only have the main sole purpose of being a housewife, to be married and to keep the house and take care of the children. Because this was their sole purpose, women were thought to have no interest in the outdoors and no place camping. Camping has become a man's hobby, or was seen as a man's hobby, also because men would utilize camping as a way to show off their ruggedness, to go be with other men, and prove that they were tough and could withstand the outdoors. In the article, Girl Scouts Dropouts Want Camping, from Women's News, they talk about how the Girl Scouts of the USA brags that it is the world's premier leadership organization for girls, even though there has been a dramatic drop in enrollment. The decline of Girl Scouts was due to the lack of outdoor activities and camping that the Boy Scouts got to do, combined with a bigger factor of the Girl Scouts focusing mainly on selling cookies and doing crafts. Rather than focusing on the traditional outdoor teachings that made the base of all the Scouts, the Girl Scouts focused on other female-specific activities. The Boy Scouts were known for doing fun activities outdoors, such as camping, making fires, hunting, and things of that nature. The decline in the Girl Scouts was because the girls wanted some of this too, and all they were getting was cookie sales. For my camping trip, I decided to go to the Yuba River, which was a beautiful location. It was hot, and a friend had told me about it, so that's where I wanted to go. And I also went with one of my friends as well. To get to the exact camping location, you have to hike 2 miles, and it's not a super extraneous hike, but it's still a good walk. And it was nice because once we reached our camping location, we couldn't hear any cars or anything. All you were surrounded by was nature. So the most challenging part of the entire camping experience would be the heavy lifting, and all of the camping supplies that I had to carry. I thought it would be the easiest part of the trip, but it actually turned out to be my least favorite and most annoying part of camping, was carrying everything. I was like dripping sweat the whole time. The cooking was the easiest in setting up camp, which I thought was going to be the hardest with setting up the tent, but it actually was fun, and yeah, it wasn't as hard as hiking with all of my stuff. my whole perspective changed on the entire trip, and I went from being really excited at the beginning to get there, and then not wanting to leave because I was dreading walking back with all of my gear. I do not consider myself that much of a girly girl, but I do not like getting dirty so much, and I can see why women don't usually pick camping as a means for a leisure activity because of this. I have also found a new respect for what men and women who do go camping um, do, as far as setting up a campsite and carrying really heavy equipment, because I now know like how hard it is. Um, Without having brought, like, if I decided not to bring a friend with me, I know I would have gotten way more frustrated, especially because when I go on vacation, I don't really have patience for doing hard work. Here's a picture of me next to our campsite. Um, the tent I helped set up, or I did set up with my friend, and it's a two-person tent. And then we also had um, the fire pit that we used to cook over, and yeah, so this is our campsite, our site. Here's a picture of the Yuba River, which was right next to our campsite. Here's a picture of my friend Autumn, who was my camping partner, next to the food that we were cooking over our fire and our tent. Here is another picture of the Yuba River that I took of the waterfall. Here's a picture of the food that we cooked for dinner. We made asparagus, which we boiled in water in a pot over our fire, and we made roasted vegetables that we cut up together. It was onions and mushrooms and potatoes that we put also in a baking dish, and then we made steak that we just put right onto the grill. It was delicious. This is a picture. This is a picture of the fire that we made, and we found the wood around our campsite, and then we put it into our fire pit and put lighter fluid on it, and then just lit it with a match. We didn't actually like make the fire from scratch, but yeah, it kept us warm because it was really cold at night by the Yuba River, so it was a good thing that we had a fire. In closing, 42 million Americans go camping a year, and I can now add myself to this list because my camping experience was both grounding and helpful. I overall really enjoyed the whole trip. It showed me that teamwork is paramount in surviving the outdoors, and I look forward to my next camping experience. Now that I'm a veteran, I will definitely be bringing less things with me so I won't have to carry so much.